Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Renegade TV. We're doing a little bit of a special tonight. Not really going to be in character, not really going to be all about RWO, just a nice relaxed setting. Join us here. I've got Blaze McCoy on the line with me, as well as that alpha wolf, Omar Wolf.
Yo. Hey, how we doing?
Well, I should probably go and share the link, shouldn't I? Or one of you fuckers
might help.
Yeah, I think one of you guys could help. Hey, we got RW Jack as well as Jordan King. Before we start anything, I want to get into the passing of one of the greatest commentators, interviewers ever in the world of wrestling, and that is one Mean Gene Okerlund. I think all three of us could say we have had a lot of experience with this guy in the wrestling world. He's been a big part of our lives in our passion for wrestling. So having this guy pass, man, that is like, geez, there's never ever going to be another guy like this guy. We got Mark Caliber in the chat. There we go. Blaze McCoy on the phone with us, or on Skype I should say, and my live chat's all kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I touched base on that earlier on my show. How pioneer in the business, to say the least, was someone, the first one to really interact with people more than just asking questions and really getting into character and being more than just an interviewer or commentator. He was a true character. I mean, you could get, soundbite after soundbite with the guy, with numerous superstars over how many decades, and put you on your floor laughing.
Also, look at how many guys that he made look great in front of the camera. You know, some of these guys couldn't handle being in front of a mic, but he made it comfortable for them, and actually, I think, brought some of these guys' inner character out just a little bit more than they actually could have. That was the talent of Okerlund. You know, he was so relaxed in his in that environment that I don't know, he just made everyone look good around him. You know, from Andre the Giant all the way down to Big John Studd to Jake the Snake Roberts. You know, it was like nobody, I don't think, ever had a bad interview with this guy or a bad promo. But yeah, so condolences to the Okerlund family. And geez, what a loss for the wrestling community that was. So we were talking a little bit about this off screen, and this is not just, ladies and gentlemen, don't get me wrong, this is normally going to be an RWO style channel, but tonight we're going to venture into a little bit of the real wrestling out there, and a lot of info's been dropping right before the new year about AEW, that is All Elite Wrestling. And it has, in fact, been announced that All Elite Wrestling is coming our way. They've already got some leads on some television deals, and the people running it, wow, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, just an awesome pairing right there. And then they've got the Jaguars vice president backing them as well. What a team that's going to be right there. And the amount of change that'll come just directly because of them to what WWE's doing and what a lot of other indie shows are doing, And suddenly my guest hosts have gone mute.
I was trying to let Omar have a chance as I entered the last time, but speak up there, pal.
Fucking bullying me already.
Well, you know what?
I don't patronize you. It's not me if I'm not patronizing.
If you two boys want to snap one off, fine, okay? But don't choose once we're on air to do so.
I already did that during your intro.
I don't need to know what you guys are doing before the show.
Oh,
or during it.
Lordy.
With the money coming in from the Jaguars owner and obviously the creative aspect of Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, what we saw from All In alone, God knows what we're going to get when they finally get a TV company to pick it up for definite.
Well, from the rumors that are going around right now all over social media is they are aiming for SmackDown's Tuesday slot. And as you know, October of this year, that is when SmackDown moves over to Friday. And so if that happens before the switch, there's going to be direct competition there between AEW and WWE SmackDown. That's going to make it interesting.
And finally, we might actually get a decent WWE product that actually gives us wrestling and gives us an actual storyline which is played out in front of the camera instead of build over fucking 5-6 weeks.
Exactly. You know, and right now, you know, it's like, oh, WWE, you know, they brags, you know, that third hour gives them so much revenue just because of all the ads they can run and so on and so forth. Well, I think it's time they start getting back to the wrestling side of things, because when you've got a show like NXT that is only an hour, and they are fitting just as much wrestling matches on that show that a 3-hour Raw is doing, come on, there's something seriously wrong there. You know?
Yeah.
You got 3 hours, you can only do 5-6 matches. NXT's got 1 hour, and they're doing the same, and yet their matches are more interesting, their storylines are more interesting. Give me a fucking break. You know, it's time to get their heads out of their asses.
I agree, and I think we were talking earlier how I think when you're seeing the McMahons and WWE talking about changing and making big deals and bringing different people in and bringing the product that the fans want, I think that has a big deal to do with the fact that, you know, in the wrestling industry now with social media and everything, that information's everywhere. So they knew, they had to have known there's a really good chance this is going to happen. So why not prepare now? I mean, they're a huge conglomerate, $1 billion. I'm sure they sat down last week, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, and planned it out for the next year and say, hey, if this is going to happen in October, we got to step our game up. We got to get ready for it, compete for it. I think we're going to have a huge WrestleMania out of it. We'll see. Rumble, maybe we'll see some big names come to the Rumble like most people expect.
You know, there's so many times I look at it, it's like, oh, this thing right here, you know, when New Japan started invading the U.S. and having their G1 Force shows, it's like, oh, maybe there's hope. Maybe this will get them to change. And absolutely not. And then they said, oh, you know what? We're going to top what Wrestle Kingdom did and give you a pay-per-view at our WrestleMania that will blow them right out of the water. I'm sorry, that didn't happen. You know?
Nope.
Like, come on. You know, there's something wrong with your formula. And the proof is in the pudding when Triple H is running NXT with the likes of Regal and whoever else he's got on his team, and McMahon is the one basically running shit with WWE. You know what? Worry about your XFL. Go over there. Let someone else run the show and see if we can bring, you know, the people a better product. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, look at the last couple of years, man. Other promotions, the talk of these other promotions has become more and more, and people, you know, everyone loves to talk negative about WWE or think they can run it better, blah, blah, blah. But they're the best there is with the best people no matter what. But lately, seeing Ring of Honor, New Japan, TNA and Lucha working together, like stuff like that, like there's more talk about these other companies here and here and here, thinking maybe something big like this would happen. I'm glad to see it happen. I'm excited about the possibilities.
Well, I'm gonna pause right here on the subject. I'm gonna go through who's all joining us tonight. We've got RW Jack, Jordan King, Mark Caliber.
Yeah.
We've got Mrs. U Taker, Fred Tumiddy, Brandon Cuevas, I already said Mrs. U Taker, you little sneaky tiny bitch. I mean, oh, jeez.
You won't mind saying her name twice.
Brandon Ace, and that cuckolding whore, Raging Chaos Wrestling.
I was gonna say, which one?
Jake Bagwell.
I thought I was on the call.
And you know what?
Yeah,
That's it right there. So
Jeez.
Those are the ones that are showing themselves in the chat. You know, it's a little bit off topic tonight. Not just about RWO, and we don't have the lovely Penny Knight with us as well.
I've been sending her message after message, ringing her phone, because, you know, well, that has nothing to do with the show, but
well, you know,
back to
she's
the
probably
show. My fault.
chasing after Dakman Do again, somewhere out in the dunes, you know, just fucking disrespectful.
Hey.
The White Rhino's probably plowing.
You know,
Dakman who?
putting her mouth where never mind. Penny's gonna kick my ass later. She's gonna switch my Viagra with something else, you know, arsenic.
Jeez. Sounds like you speaking from experience, Pete.
She tries killing me every now and then, but it's all good.
Keeps him on his toes. Keeps him on his toes.
Now, we spoke a little bit of this big deal of AEW coming around, but recently in RWO, we've had a lot of shit go down, but there's been a lot of shit going down all over the DWS. You know, you look at what's going on with leaning towards death wrestling right now, what that's gearing up for, what's going on in UKWF, and tonight was a great show, by the way, by both of you gentlemen. I applaud you both on the hard work you guys put into it, and you guys definitely understand how much headache goes into making these shows to be as good as they can be. So a lot of love from me to you guys on what you guys do, and it was really sad to see those sinful vibrations going down the way they did.
Yeah, they took a pounding tonight, although the Cardinal did almost pull it back at one point.
You know, it was looking promising, and then he just let that little fucker just have at him, you know? But
Great, but thank you very much for those comments, Pete. It's much appreciated.
You know, I've made it known, you know, I can't be at everyone's shows. It's impossible. I try and catch replays and whatnot. There's only so much time that's allotted to me during the day, and I've got a lot of other projects that are in need of my, you know, my time. And sadly, that makes it so I can't catch everyone's show. But, you know, I catch the ones I can, and I enjoy it. And when I see something I love, I gotta applaud you guys, you know? No. But if you guys aren't in the know, this past weekend, we had our RWO Super Show of Shows. And yes, it was a super show of shows because it was 3 days of excruciating pain on my part. Quite literally, because I started getting a cold halfway through the goddamn thing. And then the last day I was going through the body aches and earache and a fucking cold. So, but I pulled it off, and so did the rest of the roster. You know, everything that went into it, everything that was done during the show, it was beautiful. I loved it. You know, and I'm hoping that now that I've split the brands, or split the roster the way I have, and I haven't done what the women you know, need to be done yet, like the split, although they can do the splits on their own quite easily, I assume. But you know, going into the new year now with 2 separate brands, and I figured I'd probably explain it a little bit more tonight with you guys as well as our guests here in the chat. And yes, I know, Rage, you're not happy unless you get my attention. I know. You're like a child that's looking for its sucky. I know. But
wow.
I was trying to stay serious for it, man. Come on.
You were doing so well.
Yes,
keep going.
You
Keep
know,
going.
hit the bling. You know, the reason
All
for
more spapping. Keep going.
The reason for the split, the biggest reason in itself, we've got a lot of people that love the storyline, and then you've got about half the roster that really, I can't tell if they're a little bit afraid to get involved or jump in with both feet, or it's you know, it's just that they don't want to. So what I've done was, there are some people that I know are capable of storyline. They're on one show with a lot of the people that are a little bit standoffish and not sure if they want to get their feet wet in the storyline a bit. And then the other roster, they've got the storytellers. And my biggest hope is that this will probably give the people that are a little bit more shy, like I know Blaze, he's not comfortable getting into the storyline aspect of it because he sees what everyone else is doing and how much is being put down, and I know it overwhelms him. You know, so separating him from a roster that is into it like that, my hopes are it allows him to branch out a little bit and start experiencing it a little bit more and getting his feet wet. You know, same with guys like Mordred Nightwalker, who since the whole thing has turned around in RWO with the new characters, Aiden Nightwalker's been lost in the mix because he's got no voice. You know, Cyrus the Virus Sullivan, you know, the same way. So, you know, that is my biggest hope, is I can alleviate a lot of that, oh my God, look how good they're writing and their storyline's so awesome, I don't know if I want to get involved because of it, and give them a spot where it's like, hey, I got an opportunity here to get my feet wet, get myself noticed, and join in on the fun, you know? At least that's my plan. How it goes from here on out, we'll see.
Well, it'd be nice for the ones that aren't so sure of themselves, you know, the ones that are questioning whether to get their feet wet or not, to work with other people within that same bubble as such, and maybe with a few more of the experienced heads in there that can tell the stories, it will bring out a bit of confidence in themselves where they can progress.
Exactly. You know,
such.
You say it more eloquently than I ever can.
That's his accent. Come on, that's all it is. you know, love busting your balls about it.
Cheeky bugger.
Yeah, he is a cheeky bugger. That is for fucking sure.
He can be.
You know,
he can be sometimes.
But
I don't know. Junior has to deal with all that shit. My boy has to deal with all that. I'm in a time machine, man. I'm no more picking through trash, pretending to be a bum, masquerading through the wasteland. I said, this time machine comes in quite handy right now. I said, Junior's out of control. I got to do it.
Well, you know, I'm also taking a step further. I am splitting the rosters. We're going to have the same RWO Next Gen chat, but each brand is going to be on a different Skype chat from here on out as well. So that way, you know, the one brand doesn't know what the other brand's doing. So when they tune in to, say, Rise of the Renegades, you know, it's like viewing an actual show, and they have no idea what's going to happen. You know, there's not going to be any giveaways to the action going down inside that chat. So all storylines are going to be fresh to them, and they're going to say, well, we got to try and outdo them. At least that's my hopes here. Oh, Anarchy Gaben, how you doing, bro? Oh, you want to get in on the call, motherfucky? Because, you know, the floor is always open.
I said no. Even though it ain't my show or channel, I said no. How about that? How about them apples, Pete?
Well, you know, if you had that much control, well, I guess you do, huh?
I do, yeah. I'm calling in via satellite here, man, from Time Machine Arena, so you guys can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, we don't
I got an anti-chance conspiracy going on, so maybe I want to wait a minute here and see. Let's see.
You know, all we need now is Blaze ruining the whole timeline and beautifying the wasteland, for fuck's sakes.
Oh God, I can't be having that.
Beautifying it? I get the fuck out of there.
Hey man, we want it dirty. We love it nasty. We love it bloody.
I know you do.
Oh, he says, go fuck yourselves, motherfuckies. Oh, whoa, it just wounded me.
That's why Junior, you guys can do whatever you want to Junior. I'm interested to see how he handles the wasteland. If he can survive without his dad around to save him from everything and bail him out of bad situations and teach him this and teach him that. He's on his fucking own now. Good luck, son.
You know, you just did something right there, Blaze. At the pay-per-view, I kept on referring to Junior as Junior, and you just did it like 3 times in a row. Junior, Junior, you know.
He knows if I call him his full name, he's in some deep shit.
No, but you know, it's another discussion I wanted to have is, you know, it was brought up to me in a chat. I can't remember who it was. Someone said they were uncomfortable joining in because of the over storylining. Is there such thing as over storylining though? As you know, the way things got to work in our reality of wrestling, what we do here in 2K19, we can't physically act out anything, so it's all got to be based in storyline. So some stories get pretty lengthy, and you know, the way I like to play it, especially like if you didn't notice on Leaning Towards Death, when I was having that feud with Shifty and Red Dragon, I did it in vignettes so that way there's no physical contact up to the point of the match. And, you know, so you've got to act out a lot of it in story mode, and so it does get lengthy. What are your points? You notice he keeps us out of it, Chris. And kept you out of shit. See, the only time Raging Chaos actually has a voice is when he's in a chat and he wants to get lippy.
Ooh, hey now.
When it comes to storylining, oh, why wasn't I invited? Oh, you poor baby. Get your mama to change your diaper.
Hey now.
Well, when you're talking about over storyline, are you talking about the fact that, yes, okay, you can go into detail, but when you're going over the top into detail in the way the person moves, the way the person acts,
yeah, that is too much. That is too much.
You can get it across without all the extra detail.
I've always been the style of writer that likes to leave things to the imagination. So I don't go in depth and really illustrate it about the environment and the surroundings, or the way someone walks, or the way a tree blows in the wind. To me, it's unnecessary. That's what the imagination is for, you know. And when it comes to writing, I look at that the same way. You know, less action means more, and you know, especially if you're doing, like, say, a promo. Well, you don't need to write down all your actions. You know, you put your setting down. You're leaning up against a car. You know, okay. Once describe the car. Say, oh, it's 1969 Dodge Charger. Everybody knows what that car looks like, so you don't need to describe it. So you lean up against that car. You cut your promo. Bam, done. You know, simple, simple. And then you've got the writers that will go detail for detail for detail. That is over storyline in my eyes.
But yeah, I was going to say there can be over storylining, but there's probably a lot of different levels on it based on who you're talking to and who's running the show. But yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from.
I was going to say I wasn't ready.
Hey!
Oh,
whoa, surprise.
Have mercy.
I was also going to say that I can be very guilty of getting into too much detail.
But you do it in a way that draws the reader in. You know, you don't give the amount of description that I'm implying, where you're listing every little detail in your storyline. When you kidnapped JD Bagwell and whooped his ass, you know, you had to write in how you were placing glass, you know, embedding glass into that whip and shit like that. That is a necessity, you know. And then lashing him over and over again until, you know, he was unconscious. That was beautiful.
Pete, are you trying to say how, like, in an EFED in the old days or WU, you do need to get into detail and really draw the picture, but here that's not really as much necessary?
Yes, it's not as necessary, you know.
There you go. I do feel that way. So
like everyone basically has to understand what the wasteland is. It's a destroyed Earth, you know. It's barren lands. There's hardly any area that actually grows anything green, anything sustainable, you know.
For now.
Wait, nothing green?
I
For
said,
now, just wait.
I
Chance
said,
is working on that.
Okay.
I said
Chance is
hardly
working
any
on that.
green.
Never mind. Proceed. Thank you, Chris.
So everyone gets how grueling the wasteland is. You know, there's a lot of, like, in the past, I allowed people to say, oh, they ran vineyards and this and that. You know, no. It just doesn't make sense. It's the wasteland. If someone was running a vineyard, they'd be at constant war defending that land. And then it'd just be about those people, you know. I strip it bare. And it's like everyone is fighting for survival. Everyone, you know, it's the basically law of nature. The strong survive. The lesser beings, they are slaves or followers. You know, it's the way of the wasteland. Wow, you guys are silent fuckers.
Is that a parakeet?
Yeah, no kidding.
Crickets. I thought Omar was about to say something, but say something.
But yeah.
Well, what I will say is that with the huge difference in the way the storyline works between here and stuff like the E-Feds and Woo, the best way to go about it, in my personal opinion, is to basically keep the majority of what you're doing short and sweet, focus more on what you're going to say rather than the actions.
And the actions, when, like, if you're like a sadistic motherfucker and looking to like ruin someone, like Phoenix Nightwalker, then it's got to be included. You know, like, details need to be there, but they don't need to be so detailed where, you know, it's like, oh my god, I just wrote a whole fucking novel.
Well, even in that regard, I'm going to borrow something that you used in a different chat. You can still keep it short and sweet, but at the same time, you can switch up the way that you describe things. Yeah. Just so that way, you're still getting it straight to the point, and you got it vivid enough for it to make sense.
You know, and another thing that people have forgotten, you know, when I said I was coming back, a lot of people forgot those initial words that I used when I said I'm coming back, and the gloves are now off. That means anything can happen in the wasteland. The storylines can take a route that never would have been done before. But leave the injuries, leave the killing, you know, for what happens in the shows, okay? If it's a match where it's so one-sided, where someone just gets butchered in the match, obviously I'm going to come up with some sort of injury for them, so that way they're on the shelf for a bit and someone else can move up and take their spot. I did that with...
Shit, if you are going to kill somebody, make it an NPC.
Yes. You know? Or, you know, take him down to the slaughterhouse. It's somewhere down in the wasteland, you know?
Well, you got to look at it this way. Cuts and bruises would be fine to take into a match. Broken bones and major injuries, yeah, you're not going to take those anywhere. So you got to leave that down to the matches to detail how much damage is done to someone, and then it can storyline from that point onwards.
I want to give a quick shout out to Caleb and answer your question, RW Jack. It'd be those knuckleheads always getting drunk on the ice. I can't remember their fucking names anymore because I'm so fucking old I can't remember shit. He was asking favorite SCTV act. It was the brothers, you know, always
Bob and Doug McKenzie.
There we go. No. John Candy on SCTV, always a good thing as well. But no, it's like the brand draft. You know, a lot of people are going to hate it. And to answer Mrs. Utaker, I will be rectifying tag teams. I noticed I split up the tag team of the Descendants of Darkness, so I will be making sure they are on the same show. No, there will not be many crossovers. There will be a contest to see which tag team on Path of the Warriors or Way of the Warrior, whatever I decide to go with, will be fighting Angry Assholes for the Dogs of War tag titles, so that way that title moves over to the second show. You know, or I unleash the Angry Assholes upon you all, and you guys are all crying at the end of the night. But, yes, Omar.
I was about to say, you're going to leave the Angry Assholes to take them all down to the new Red Lounge and make them work for it.
Well, see, there's something that, you know, that it interested me to the point where it's like, you know what, our next pay-per-view is going to be at the Wasteland Penitentiary, now rechristened the Red Lounge. And it's not the Red Lounge anyone wants or anyone would like to be around, but the Angry Assholes have welcomed us in for our next pay-per-view. So it'll be in the confines of cells. So it'll be cage matches, it'll be Hell in a Cells, it'll be Elimination Chambers. You know, it'll be the type of matches that you would basically see in jail. You're trapped in a cell, either you gotta fucking escape or you're locked in for good until you just can't get up no more. You know, I thought it was an interesting way to go for the next pay-per-view. and all angles are going to lead in that direction. Now, one thing I plan on doing, though, is if you want in the pay-per-views, you're going to have to earn your spot. And that means joining in on storylines, making sure that the audience gets to know who your wrestler is. You know, making sure that if I give you direction and I send you a personal message along with your opponent, you're going to actually work with those people. Not just write 4 lines and say, okay, I've done my part now, you know, fuck it. You know, it's not the way it's supposed to work. You're supposed to work right hand in hand with your opponents to make the best storyline you can, make the best feud you can, and turn it into something that even I wouldn't have expected. And that's something that a lot of you guys have the talent for doing. So, you know, we'll see how far it goes.
Hey, I don't want to work with that Pete Wall guy. I refuse.
Buddy, I could make Junior McCoy look like a fucking star.
We mean make him look like one. I barely taught him anything, and he's already a fucking star.
Let me see.
Except his one eye is at the minute. He's Cyclops at the moment, is he not?
He lost.
It's his third eye.
He lost against Gold Dynasty, which are a bunch of fucking knuckleheads.
We don't have to get into details.
You know,
he's learning. He's improving.
He lost when he had an opportunity to become the next Iron Warrior champion. He let a guy like the Authentic One shine above him. Come on.
There was someone who had to defend a ruler title like 3 times in one night at one point too. You know.
Caleb, what is your Skype name? I can do that right now, or someone else in the chat that is connected with RWO can add you, because I have no fucking clue who you are in Skype.
Yeah, I'll get him. I'll get him.
Hey, to piggyback on the storyline thing real quick, I mean, we have so many creative, innovative writers, comedians, entertaining storytellers, like within our groups that, you know, you want to tap into that. You have to. It just adds so much to the show. And to bring that into some of the shows is something I think really helps the shows. But at the same time, it's not easy. It's not easy. And you got to find the right mesh of how much to do it or when to do it or who to do it with, depending on your show. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Like, you got to give credit to the people out there.
A lot of mistakes people make is rushing things, you know, and I hope they're paying attention to what we're talking about right now.
I'm not.
Because your opponent puts something down does not mean you have to fire back as soon as they've posted. You know, let it marinate a day or two. This is the wasteland. None of these nations are directly linked and connected. It isn't like we've got teleportation or some fucking beam that lights our ass up and we've like rocket over to the next nation. You know,
we're a time machine.
Exactly. You know, it takes time to reach destinations. So play it like that. If you know, the way I like to write things is say, you know, there's this old busted up camera that's being utilized and it's done as a vignette. It's broadcasted all over every fucking channel, because there is only probably one channel in the wasteland that still has reception, you know.
Channel 13.
Yes, Channel 13. The luckiest channel there ever was.
You're damn right.
But you know what I'm saying, you know? It's like, you don't need to rush the storyline. Each show is a week apart. So you've got a whole week to continue that storyline. And if per se you and your opponent meet in like a backstage brawl or something, well, it'll just heighten whatever is going on in the storyline already. And you know, you can bring that up a little bit more. You know, a lot of people get confused and think, okay, that guy just did something to me. He put his foot in my ass and tickled my tonsils with his toes. I've got to fire back because, god damn it, I can't let that happen. Or the other guy turns around and he's the invincible Undertaker on steroids and God knows what other fucking drug, probably acid and fucking PTP, you know, and nothing can harm him. You know, he just keeps on coming back. Never play that guy, guys, because that type of guy is hated and basically pushed out of everything that we are doing. How's it going, Dan Carrier? Jake Bagwell wants to be added to the call.
You know, it's funny, Pete, that you happen to say that, because I was going to touch on that a little bit.
Well, touch on
Because I was gonna say, like, if you do feel the urge to respond to something that a person does, you don't always have to try to get the upper hand back in your character's favor. Like, sometimes it's better to actually take that bump and just come back and open your mouth like, oh, you little piece of shit, I'm gonna get my revenge.
Yep. You know, you look at it as, okay, this guy just knocked my ass out. Now it's time to come back with a very interesting return, but I don't need to do it tonight. I can wait till tomorrow or after the next show. You know, sometimes waiting is the better way to go.
I do have one question for you, Pete. Because obviously you're on about these tag team title belts,
Yes.
which are going to be moving hopefully across shows as such.
Uh,
What about the ruler titles as such?
Okay, the ruler titles and the empress titles, blah blah blah, etc. etc. So we're gonna have the ruler of the wasteland on one show, the emperor on the other. We're gonna have the empress and the queen on separate shows, just to make sure that's, you know, all women have opportunities. The women's tag team is going to be a floater because I think it's needed. There's not enough women on the show to do it any other way, so I think it should float back and forth. And you know, the tag titles, they're going to have their own separate shows as well. You know, and then No Limit Championship is going to be on the Warrior Way, or whatever the hell I'm going to call it, show. Because that's where most of the light heavyweights ended up, and it seems more of a title that would go with that route.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whenever I try to plot, there are times where I portray my opponent as stronger than me. If I could use another brand, when I had the short feud with Comeback Kids in UKWF, I made them look stronger. And I could actually throw you guys old storylines I've done back in my EFED days. The way I worked with guys back then, they'd start off writing, and then they'd send it my way. I'd read what they'd put down, then I'd continue it. And what I would do when it was my part, it would be more my opponent getting the upper hand of me, but still making it look like I've got, you know, a little bit of something in there and fighting back continuously, but making them shine. And once my opponents seen what I was doing, they'd start doing the same thing. And we'd be able to tie in comedy with it. Like we had, you know, old school store, like grocery store brawls. We had one where it was an Alcatraz death match, where the majority of this whole thing played out in storyline, and it was basically a tape fist, dunk them in glue, slam them in glass, and go at each other. And it's a very descriptive way of storylining, but once you start reading it, you get drawn in, and it's a beautiful thing. But we're doing something totally different now, and if you can find an opponent that wants to work with you like that, more power to you. I prefer it, but you always got the guy that says, I want to make the post, and the other guy goes, well, I want to, you know, I want to be the guy that posts this shit because it's so good. What they don't realize is they're both going to get credit for the write-up because everyone knows they wrote it together. There's a distinctive style of writing for both people, and people notice that when they're reading. My 2 cents on that.
Tony says exactly, Blaze. I don't know did I just say something? I just got Mrs. U-Taker excited. How about it? Hey now.
Hey, when a woman goes, you know that she's come a long way.
Well, whatever I did, Tiny, remind me so I can do it again and again and again and again and again. No, just kidding. Go back to the show.
Now, and another misconception a lot of people have, they think that no one's there to help them.
True, very true.
And it's I've said this repeatedly, and I'll say it again tonight. If you need help with the direction you want to go, you have to step up and ask. I don't care how good you are at writing. I don't care how bad you are at writing. Even I need help with a direction from time to time. I can't always just bang, it's in my head and I'm writing it down. It doesn't work that way with me. I've got to see something in the chat or what's going on with the show to make something click in my head. And even then, I'll talk with sometimes Blaze about a storyline, and he'll, well, you know, I dig it, but there's something wrong with it. So I'll start going through things in my head, and then I'll just throw something down at random, and usually he ends up liking it after all. So, you know, or he'll send me a message, Pete, let me be the puppet master.
Yeah. All the things you said about my character on your show are completely true. It's true. I mean, I'll go a little further. I'll talk about, you know, the story that I got going in LTD right now. The fact that I had to reach out and talk to everybody on the roster individually. I mean, the conversations I've had to do just what you're talking to doing. Like some people are like, well, maybe I want to do this or that. Like not to change your shit every damn week a billion times, but to have conversations with the people that are running these channels. If you want to develop your character and really give that channel an identity, help your promoter at the same time, because whether you guys believe it or not, obviously I think some people don't think so, but we're here to help. Just reach out. Everyone knows there's a way to private message. The wrong way to do it would be during a live stream, during the show, or in a group chat. Hit us up privately. We all have ways to talk to us.
I have a very happy New Year to you too, Fred Too Bitty. And that's another thing. Gimmicks. Okay, a lot of people they jump to this assumption, I've got to be the badass, and I've got to be this and that, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's some of you out there, they want to play the heel, and you are just so fucking too sweet and nice to play that. You know, it just doesn't fit your character. You know, and I'll read some of these characters that are being developed, and it's like, you should be a face. There's nothing about what you're doing that screams, I hate you. You know, you're just either, like, when it comes to a female, you're too fucking lovable, or when it's a guy, it's like, I think you got it backwards there, brother. You don't sound intimidating. You're a little bit too nice in the chats. And me, I've got times, okay, you know what, I'm a mod on most channels, so I'll go in there, I've got to be nice at first, and say hi to everyone, be all Mr. Respectful, but when it's time to step in my character, I'm going to be a complete fucking asshole, and I believe I play it really fucking well, you know? And then there's other guys, they try to do that, and it's like, no, go back to the drawing board and recreate yourself, because you just stink at being bad.
Hey man, nobody wants to be a face. Let's just say it and be real. Well, nobody does. Hardly anyone.
I'm sorry that I resemble that remark.
Hardly anyone. Let me put it that way. Hardly anyone.
I resemble that remark. I don't like it.
Not enough people want to be faces. Let me put it that way. I'll keep going back.
I have to admit, I've had some great fun playing a face recently.
Well, are you going to disagree with me and not enough people want to be face?
Not enough people don't want to be face. Not enough people want to play that role, because it is the guy that will take the bumps more often. It is the guy that will get beaten down, or
unless they know how to be a good guy. I want to see a good guy. Who can be a good guy? That's a challenge.
I'm going to put someone on the coals right now, and they're probably going to give me shit for it in Skype. I don't really care.
Here we go.
I don't really care. You listen to any Mordrin Nightwalker promo, okay? And he breaks all the rules. He says he's the face of LTD. He's the face. He is a face. But he breaks every single rule that there is set forth to be a face. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, a face should never swear. A face should never be, you know, he should never threaten, you know, someone's life or whatever. You know, there's a time where, okay, they're raged out and they're sick and tired of the blindside attacks or this and that. Okay, that is the time to show your anger. But in any average promo, you don't break certain rules a face should do, and that is one thing Mordrin Nightwalker does a lot in every promo. He breaks those rules about being a face, and then it's like you're trying to be something you're not. You know?
Well, you brought up my show. I have to kind of defend it. That was part of the angle with Mordrin. Not go full face, still be the East Coast Bastards. I know where you're coming with it in general, but that specific angle, that was meant to be that way.
So you're saying he's supposed to be walking the gray line. He's like the Stone Cold character.
Yes, it was. But he had to be. He was the face. The Eternity was the.
I lost him.
Yep, he's gone.
Ah, horseshit. No, but you know, to go back on it, is he back?
I think so.
Hello, Mr. Blaze McCoy.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
There we go.
I understand what you're trying to go there, but there's a way to walk the gray line, and then there's crossing over the gray line, and what I'm not saying he's shit or whatever. I'm not shitting on what he's done. I'm saying you've got to walk that line then instead of going over the line repeatedly until you are looking more of the guy that would stab you in the back than hold his hand out to you. God damn it! I went and made everyone shut up again.
Well, I have to admit, I goaded into breaking him out of the face mold with his last couple of promos, and I pushed those buttons a little bit, knowing which buttons to press.
Oh, so it's a beautiful thing what you do too.
Which is exactly when it was supposed to happen too. When he
yeah.
the big match with you.
Well, no, I'm not shitting on your whole thing with Eternity. I'm not doing that. I want to make that clear. It's just some guys don't know how to walk that line like they should, and it comes off a little bit more differently than it actually should be. And if I'm gonna play a flat out heel, oh fuck, I'm going flat out. And I will sometimes adapt the comedy route as well, just to liven things up a little bit. Most of my new promos and most of my actions and storylines lately have been more along the lines of straight up in your face heel, and I dig that, and I love being able to play that role. I don't know if even I could play a straight up gray line walking type of character. I don't know if I could.
I don't think I could walk the grey line. I'd be too tempted to move over to the heel side completely, and it's a hard role to play.
Right away, the fans would be guffawing at you for dropping a whore down and plugging her, holes.
I'm just going to go ahead and be completely honest and say that walking the gray line or playing a flat-out face for me in general is going to be the most difficult shit in the world, just because my asshole-ish nature is going to make my immediate response be something rude.
Yep. Well, that's the hardest part, the retaliation part of it. Someone trash talks you, you want to be right there to send another zinger back at them, make them chew on their asshole a little bit. And it's a very hard compulsion to get over, and when you're told, okay, you're the face in this feud, you gotta abide by it. It's like, no, I don't want to.
Well, I've recently played a face, and I survived it for a while, and then it changed into something else, and it went a bit far for some people. I've now come clean. I was Lion Kid, and for those of you who didn't notice, that was me.
Dun, 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 dun.
Shock horror. But when I was playing the face bit, I was having fun with it. I was going a little bit out there, a little bit over the top, and that's the role it was meant to be.
Now, you also have those wrestlers that, like Jake Bagwell just posted in the chat, I'm heel or face, it's whatever the promoter wants me to be. That doesn't always work because, you've got a way of portraying your character, and for a long time, I was the guy in the chat trying to make everyone laugh, trying to make everyone have a good time, and it's like, okay, I've done that long enough now. Now it's time to show the promoter something else. And you've got to be able to do that on your own. And yeah, it might shock the people in the chat sometimes. It might shock the promoter a little bit. But it's your opportunity to get noticed as being able to go a different angle. You can't just go and say, okay, yes, the promoter said this or that. And this also applies for, this doesn't apply to every promotion out there. Some promoters, they like to control every aspect of the route they're taking. Me, on the other hand, it's like, okay, here's a direction I want you to go. Surprise the fuck out of me. Like, have my nuts tingling for a week with the direction you took. I don't care, But and then there's other promoters that are a little bit more sticks in the mud. I shouldn't say stick in the mud. Where, they already have this course already planned out in their mind, so they don't want to deviate, and I respect that about them as well. And they still put on good shows. Total Hatred welcome as well.
A perfect example of a character trying to go with the flow and not really working out too well. I can usually Chance Harper. Like, when Big Dog was going and I first threw him in there, I tried to let him stay the face, the one that's going around making everybody happy, taking pictures with people and everything. And then I tried to play him as a heel in other places like LTD and HWA. And a lot of times that transference doesn't always click.
No, it doesn't.
Like, sometimes you'll end up being in one place and you'll forget that that's the show that you're in, just because, like, you're caught up in the moment and you'll say some shit that's not supposed to be said there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, that's the way I got to meet Mean Joey Green,
And what a beautiful meeting that was.
Oh, it was. But it was good trash talk. And when it got to the point where it's like, okay, he just confused me. Is he attacking me personally, or is he attacking my character? I just flat out asked him, and we started talking privately. And, he's a good guy. I got not a damn problem with him. He makes me laugh more than I want to strangle him, so that's a good thing, And, given, a guy like, it's Drago Doom now, but Yeti, giving him a partner like that, those two working together, it really gives them an outlet where they can be creative, and they've been very creative. Now, yeah, some of what they've done isn't really kosher with many of the others in the chat or in the company, but they've also got to remember, I stated, the gloves are off. This is the wasteland. You've got to fight to survive, and people got to start remembering that. And yes, a lot of people have got angry with me over decisions I made as well. When I seen the Red Lounge burning down, I seen, Cassie, Madam Red, trying to stave it off. And it's like, so I hurried messaged her and said, no, let it burn, and I feel bad for her because she felt like I was picking on her a little bit. But it's like, well, it's happening. Let it happen. Let it be organic. And see where it brings us, and that's I think that's the most things people got to take part in is just let it happen, let it be an experience, and let's see which road that travels down.
I think, Pete, you don't really have to agree with everything the promoter does all the time. I mean, yeah, we want to be involved in most of the stuff, but I mean, it's okay to disagree. It's okay. There's so many different ways to do this that you're never going to agree with everything, But just let the stories kind of develop, let the show develop, and roll with it.
You've got to look at each promoter. Not every promoter runs their stuff the same way. All of us run it for whatever we think is the best option for us. But if you've got an issue, just approach us, talk to us. We're not unapproachable at the end of the day.
As you think people always get along, and some of us, like me and Pete, disagree a lot. Like, it's not like we always agree on bullshit, but we find a common ground some. Shut up, Pete, I'm talking.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah. Seriously though, I mean, it's okay. We're not all going to always agree on all this shit. There's way too many variables. You got to come to realism that once and foremost, you got a bunch of people on your roster maintained by a bunch of different people. So getting everybody along and together is a miracle in itself. So people are always going to disagree. It's finding a happy medium and some kind of balance on whatever show you want to run.
Now I'm still.
This is going to sound bad.
Go for it.
But for fuck's sakes, don't be a Jack Bayou. All right? Now, I'm not saying that to slight this man's creativity in any way, so don't get that misconstrued. But what I am saying is don't be the guy that feels the need to constantly respond to every little thing that is going on. Give people the opportunity to work out their storylines and let things build. Because if you don't actually get the full spectrum of what builds.
Well, I'm going to just say that he's not the only one out there. There is a couple individuals that like to pop up and say a little bit when it's in the middle of something that's got nothing to do with the actual storyline, or
that goes along with chatting with the promoter. Find out what the promoter likes. If the promoter don't like it, give a chat with your promoter, and if you're still doing after you chat with the promoter, then there's a problem.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Caleb right now. He goes, cough, B-Ace, cough. And Mad Mike states, those two done great, Drago and Mean Joey, and it inspires me how evil the Barons are or should be. The Wasteland, how evil the Wasteland is. Well, Mad Mike, the best way you could join in is start taking part inside the Skype chats. It would be a better way for you to describe what the Barons are, what type of person Carmella Springheel is. I understand she's supposed to be a vampiress, but other than that, I know, I've had girlfriends that got to know me by 2 squirts more than I know Carmella Springheel. So, you've got to give her a voice. You've got to give her a station within the Wasteland as well as the Barons, and join in a little bit, get involved in the storylines and make her come to life. That's what I had a comment that I really love seeing in the Show of Shows pay-per-view. I think it was the 3rd day. Someone said, wow, RWO has really evolved, and I loved hearing that because I know all the amount of work that everyone's been doing with the storylines and being able to incorporate that in the shows and talk about the feuds during the match as well as what brought us there. That helps a long way with being able to do more than just call moves. It's like, oh, there's a body slam of some sorts mixed in with a Hurricane Rana and a flippity-doo. You get what I'm saying?
Man, that's my favorite move, the flippity-doo.
But you get what I'm saying.
I'm going to add that one.
You get what I'm saying.
I know.
I do.
I was going to say one of my favorite moves is that twirly, whirly, spinny, dingy thingy.
Oh,
yeah.
G-Train.
Use that one.
In the flippy, floppy, doomer, bang-a-rangy, fucking little sitter.
I don't want to know about your sex positions, Pete.
But, it helps incorporate so much more into the show itself. And, I've started noticing it's starting to take place more on other channels as well. People are starting to get more inclined to do some writing. And even like Almar, he's incorporating some of that into his show as well. And I love seeing that, and I don't want to say I'm pioneering anything because that's far from it. Everyone's learning at the same pace. And they're utilizing what's working, and I love seeing that in the shows. I can't call moves. I can't call moves for shit during my show. I always get caught up and then call it something else or just fuck up all the words. Well, Caleb, you're very new to what you're doing, what we're doing, and never feel like shit over it because I didn't start off very good either. Just keep your confidence high when you're doing it. Even if you fuck up what a move is called, just roll with it. Dave Wall. Dave, it's Dave. How you doing,
Dave?
How you doing,
Dave's not here.
Dave?
Dave's not here. Dave!
Do you realize that
Hammer.
I'm still a champion, Dave?
Still, I don't know I'm a champion, but I'm a champion, Dave. Am I a champion? Dave!
I like messing around with him. He's a good kid. Well, not so much a kid anymore, but...
None of us are.
No.
Big kids.
Yeah.
Grown kids.
But it's been fun, and that's what I like. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and the shows are growing from what we're all doing, and that is what's important, you know. It's not staying stagnant or becoming stagnant. Everyone's character's starting to evolve as it should. And RWO is just going to pick up from here on out, you know. It's, you know, same with UKWF, same thing with LTD, you know, what you're doing right now. Man, that is taking a leap, you know.
Well, yeah, midway through the year is such the game, and suddenly just going, right, we're going to wipe some off the board here, you know, people are going to go missing, we're going to change things up.
Yeah.
Yes, Jake.
It's
crazy. That's a crazy idea.
Yes, Jake, you are better now than you were in Big Dog. I do agree. But sometimes patience is not your strongest suit. Suit. Yeah, I did say it right. Fuck, man. Jesus.
Cassie Madam Red.
Trying to correct myself. But yes, Cassie just stepping in. How you doing, doll?
And for Caleb, yes, you are improving. It's going to come with time, basically the confidence you build each time you do a stream. Like we say, don't worry about calling the move wrong. Fuck it. Some people don't even know what the moves are called still. So if you call it that move, it is that move. Don't worry about it.
You know,
the most important thing is that you want to focus on making sure that not just the people who are watching you are having fun, but so are you. Because as long as you're having fun and you continue to keep going at it, then you'll get a lot more comfortable at doing it, and then you'll start fucking figuring out different ways to go about doing it.
No, it's all about the learning curve, you know. If you stop trying, you're not going to learn how to do it the right way or do it a way that you are loving and enjoying it. And that is the biggest thing, finding that spot, that sweet spot where, hey, this is fun for me, it's fun for the viewers, we're going to stick with this, you know, and if we need to update things in between, that's not a problem. We can do that on the fly. You know, never ever feel like you're pressuring yourself to get better. Always do it in a way where you are learning as you're doing and having fun at the same time. Because every flub I make, I laugh my ass off about it later. And even during the show, you know, I'm laughing at myself some of the times because I know I fucked something up in a very big way.
Blood.
Oh, blood. Oh my God. You know, I can't even remember the name of that pay-per-view anymore. The blood is just stuck in my head.
It's just blood something or something blood. It doesn't matter anymore, but the blood's there.
Dave,
wasn't it like the Blood Bowl or something like that?
I don't know what it was. It was blood.
Dave, I got a tip for you. How about you come up with something from this era and something that benefits for your character than what you just threw down? How about that?
Never eat. You can't say never.
Like
you never had a banana snow cone?
Or a lemon snow cone? Come on.
There you go. Or eat snow that's been pissed on? Come on.
Thank you very much, CBW Wrestling. I believe it's also known as shotgun or gunshot. Gunshot. There we go. Just look at what Drunk Pete does and then don't do that exactly. Oh, wow, those nights.
If you really want to get over with anybody in the Digital Wrestling Syndicate, the best thing to do is memorize all the words to female Pete voice and sing that shit every chance you get.
I don't think if anybody out there wanted to do what Pete does when Drunk Pete's around, they could, you know, duplicate that.
Oh man, I don't think it's duplicatable. You know, it's just something that comes out of the skin every time I get to drinking. You know, stupid shit that pops in my head, and I've got to do it.
Oh man.
You know, or there's just no
the rest of us.
There's no self-control left. You know?
Always. Little encouragement never hurts.
You know, the last time I was drunk, I even came up with a voice for Petra.
There's been a couple times since then you've been drunk, you know.
Yeah,
there's been a couple ones after that.
Oh no, this was after the last drunk Pete flip.
How many voices does she have?
Hello.
Oh no.
Yeah, she can go up pretty high now. So
I see that.
We won't go any further than that. We'll just leave you with that little bit until the next time I get drunk on screen.
That's a sense. That's the sense Swasha trait, right?
Yes, I do happen to reference balls and cock a lot when I'm drunk. Yes. But I've noticed that you don't need to be drunk at all for that rage.
Balls and cock a lot.
Hey, we've got Zerk in the house. How's it going? Yes, a little Miss Doubtfire mixed in with Petra. Yes. I think I even gave her a last name instead of Wall. I just can't remember it. I remember it every time I do the voice, but as soon as I'm done, it's like gone.
I can't lie. I literally just got the urge to sing, "Dude looks like a lady."
I'd rather you have the urge to do Chance Cosby.
Oh.
I know you can't do it on command. Now you'll never do it.
We
Since
haven't
I brought
heard
it
Chance Cosby in a long time.
I know. I missed the guy.
Chance Cosby is a little bit difficult for me, especially on command, because my brain's all like, "Do it," and then the rest of me's like, "Laugh."
Well, but if you see Phil Florin and Filth in the chat, it just automatically turns it on.
Triggers. It's like, go.
Dave, there was no show earlier. There hasn't been a show since Monday night.
Dave, go back and look for it. You'll find it. Go back to his page, go to all the videos, and keep looking for it, and tell us when you find the video from earlier today. And when you come back to this one, we'll say hi to you when you come back.
The last show that you attended here on Pillar to Post there, my dear brother David, was the last show I did. When the Gold Dynasty retained their titles, if you remember.
I reckon he's talking about your little...
Oh, he's talking about the little update that I did.
Thinking it was a show.
Yeah, no, it was just an update, Dave. Just an update.
It was an update on the pudding and the roofies and the drugs and the people and the filth and the fly.
Oh, yes.
It's all about the drugging and the fingering and the fucking...
It's all about the drinks and the sweaters.
No, but yes, since I've got more of those that attended, there was a brand draft done for the men's side of the roster. That was done in the update for, that was titled Renegade TV. And we ended up going live after all tonight, so having some fun with my bro, Blaze McCoy, and my brother from over the pond, somewhere over there anyway, Omar Wolf.
That Blaze McCoy guy, he's a prick. Can't stand him.
Dave, there has been no drinking tonight. Okay? This is just us.
Speak for yourself there. I'm yeah.
Okay, if you're 3 sheets in the wind, that's, I lied a little bit. One of us was drinking.
I've been drinking this much. You see how much that is? This much.
That wasn't much.
This much.
My God, he doesn't even believe I'm fucking sober right now. What a fucking nut job.
Hey, I'm just gonna say that you guys should know that I've been drinking enough to host my own happy hour. Hey now.
Hey
now. Har.
No, but yes, been discussing quite a bit here, storylining as well as promoing, as well as character developing, or somewhat of that. What else?
AEW.
Yeah, a little bit of AEW. A little bit of how much, WWE sucks because there's no competition. What else could we discuss? I don't know if I want to get into the whole...
I never touched it. Whatever it is, I didn't touch it.
The whole show just yet. I don't think it needs to be done tonight because, god damn it, there's a lot to go over. Holy shit.
There is a shit ton to go over. 3 nights of fucking non-stop action.
21 matches in total.
Well, you had that crazy 40-odd minute match,
Oh my goodness. Yes, the Blackhearts.
Damn Blackhearts.
Devious little bitches.
I am so proud of those hoes.
Well, we can go through the highlights, So, day 1, which happened to be on Saturday, start off strong. We start off really fucking strong. Max Radness versus Randall Riot for the No Limit Championship title, and everybody was hoping that little Gold Dynasty twat, Randall Wyatt, was going to lose his title back to Max Radness. Boy, were we fucking mistaken. Yeah, that just plain out sucked, didn't it, Dave? So, Dave's guy, Randall Wyatt, continues to be the No Limit champion. A match that I was really, really liking and waiting for was the Dogs of War title on the line in a handicap match. Mark Mayhem came in as a champion, but in a solo manner, and had to tackle the likes of Drago and Joey. You know what? Flat out, what were your guys' thoughts on the pay-per-view? Straight up, I don't give a shit if it was good. I don't care if it was bad. Throw it down.
Who's going first?
I was drunk. I don't remember.
Oh, fuck you, man. You chicken shit.
All right, so I'm going to be a little bit biased here. But in my humble opinion, I'm going to say that the show of shows was totally fucking fixed. It was rigged as hell. It was not a good night to be Oblivion at all whatsoever on any of those 3 nights. And it just... man, what the hell was that, Pete?
How do you really feel?
You know, every single member of Oblivion fails to remember that Ragnar Warson actually retained his throne and his title. He continues to be the Emperor of the Wasteland. He beat Drake Garen. You know, it wasn't a total loss for Oblivion. But yes, they got...
Apparently it was.
They got their asses kicked in a huge way. But I've got to say, every match that they were involved in looked good, except for the main event on the 3rd night. Oh my God, the twins got beat down and raped by a wolf chick. Holy shit. Wow.
She sent a fucking message that night.
I could not believe that match right there. So one-sided, and then Rika dominating and didn't even tag out, you know? It's... wow. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, and it's like, yeah, the fix looked in some cases it did, you know. But then there were some good matches, you know. Like, look at the Gold Dynasty versus Oblivion match. That one, you know, it started looking like it was going to even out, and then Gold Dynasty came back. But you guys did eliminate 2 of their members before succumbing to their, well, more talented
Gold
skills.
standard, and the standard being the JD Bagwell gets eliminated yet again.
Now, for those of you that don't know me very well, I'm just going to let it be known that I am just giving Pete shit.
Oh, I know you are, though. I know you are, though. But yes, oh my God.
Like, overall, all 3 nights from start to finish, the shows were fucking incredible. Just from, like, Pete's usual energy and sense of humor being on point as always, to the matches being, like, fucking high octane as shit. Is something that'll keep you just wanting to keep watching, and that's what the fuck I love about RWL, LTD, UKWF. You know what? I can just keep going on with all these names.
You know, my only downfall was the 3rd night. I already realized, okay, with the cold kicking in, and like right now my ears are fucking killing me. But with that 3rd night, I knew I had a lot good stacked up against me. So it's like, okay, I've been all energy from day 1, day 2. Now I'm going to have to slow things down a little bit and take some time to, you know, save my voice for the biggest matches on the card. And so I was taking a lot of breaks with, you know, introductions and the entrances and stuff. But the final 2 matches, it really paid off because I saved myself right up to that moment, and I was able to throw as much of myself into those matches as I could. So to me, that was the saving grace on night 3.
If I was going to pick a night out of the 3 nights, which was my favourite, I would have to go with night 2. I think that was the best night of the 3. But each night was decent fucking content. Every single match was decent. There was not a shit match.
No, there wasn't. You know, and there was a story to go with most of them. The only ones that didn't have stories were for the ones like I'm going to be honest right now with everybody in the chat. There are 2 women superstars. I have no clue who they fucking belong to. Angel and Amber Tiffany. You know, it's like no one's put a voice to them. No one said, "Hey, those are my girls," and it's like, so I just threw them.
They sound like a couple of strippers.
Yeah,
they're not Blackheart.
No, they're not. You know,
they should be. Let's make it happen. Hey now.
But you know, it's like
those are my girls. You can have them.
It was still a good match between them. Oh, Angel is your fiance, Mark. Okay.
That would explain it.
Well, now I know why there's been no voice given to her. Jesus. Oh, I'm gonna hear it in my fucking Skype inbox. You know I will. But you know, if I was drunk right now, I wouldn't be caring very much. I'm not drunk.
I already got a nice big message ready for you, P. You better bet your ass you're getting one from me, fucker. No.
But yes, Rebel and Carmella becoming the new Amazon Tag Champions. That was beautiful to see. Went in a total different route than I thought it would. I dug that. Now, see, Rage, it's not for me to include you in storylines and give your characters a voice. It falls upon you. And, you know, if you're going to be down upon your knees and, oh, nobody invited me to the storyline, well, since you're down on your knees already, I ain't asking you to pray, buddy. You know, straight up in your face and in your mouth, you know, just saying.
Hey, he's not asking you to pray. He's asking you to
Jesus juice.
Accept the Jesus juice like a good altar boy, okay?
Hello, can you do? Hello.
Put some lipstick on. Let's see where we can leave a ring around it.
The elevator might not be there, but you can still take the shaft.
I understand, Rage. I understand. I'm only picking on you because you got such a foul fucking mouth, you know? You know, and last time I swore you chapped my dick a bit. Jeez.
Foul fucking mouth. He likes to get fucked in the mouth.
You know,
call him a foul fucking
some
mouth.
lip gloss every now and then, you know?
Oh, damn. Shots fired.
No, but all kidding aside, you know, when someone has an issue in real life and they're taking a little bit of step back from their character, you know, all it takes is for you to say, hey, man, you know, you don't even need to tell me what's going on. Just say, hey, go and dealing with some shit. And Zerk's done this with me before, too, you know, dealing with some shit. I need to take a step back. I understand. I go through fucking shit that I can't stand dealing with a lot of times, and I've got to take that step back, you know, and it's debilitating some days. So, you know, it's, you know, you do what you got to do. You take care of your damn self, and, you know, don't be a little cunt about it. Just be straight up about it and say, hey, man, I got to take a step back. It's like, cool.
I definitely echo that sentiment, bro. Definitely.
You know, like, if we were all little bitches running around the wasteland, you know, I don't think any of us would have survived. Well, except for me and Joey Green. I think that little bitch survived everything.
He's like a cockroach.
Oh, Jesus. You know, he's going to hear this tomorrow and he's going to be, you fucking, I'll get even with you, Pete.
He'll send Yolanda on you again.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that bitch kept me running the other night. Holy fuck.
So Pete, I've got a question for you.
Shoot.
What advice would you give to a person who hasn't been involved in Unstoppable or like e-fitting at all whatsoever, who wants to get involved but isn't sure of how to do it?
Simple advice. Let your nutsack drop and talk to me as a person and explain, okay, I'm new to this. I don't exactly know what to do. And allow me to give you that advice. Don't ignore the advice. You don't need to take the full advice, but, you know, listen to it and go from there. And if you need more help, there are plenty of people that you will see storylining in RWO as well as the other companies. Talk to them. You know, it's a simple little thing, is just being brave enough to broach the subject. And
What if I don't have a nutsack?
well, that would be your problem. And how the fuck did you populate all those fucking cubs?
That wasn't me, god damn it.
Oh.
Whoa, hey now, motherfucker. What the hell? Son of a bitch.
I could have done a better Omar if I was trying to do Omar. Holy balls.
I'm sorry. Like I said, deaf in one ear, not hearing everything in the other.
I'm gonna stick my dick in that ear in a minute and fuck some sense into you.
Whoa.
Oh, have mercy. Oh, jeez. Getting up a little bit violent. Another bit of advice, throw something down in the chat. Everything starts from somewhere. And people will either gladly help you out if they see, okay, there's a little bit of potential there, but you need a little bit more direction. And
We'll reel you in.
yeah, we'll reel you in if you're going too far. Guaranteed. There's guys like Rage. There's guys like Chance.
Yellow Pages.
Yellow Pages. Omar
Covers
Wolf,
it all.
Minerva. They will reel your ass in if you're stepping way out of bounds.
Strong personalities, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. They are out there and they're full-blown personalities. Good, bad, angry, strong, whatever. And that's awesome. That's what we want.
I'm a shy, reserved guy. I don't know what you mean.
But the biggest thing
Me too.
is asking for the help when you need it. And Dave, that is something you should be doing instead of making stupid comments like you are in the chat. I'll fucking hose you down for fucking that shit, man. You want to be here in the chat lipping me off? You better start stepping it up then, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Take that, Dave.
I was sleeping, man. It's like you sleep every fucking day.
Look at that, Dave. Yeah.
My wife's gonna give me shit when I go up. Fucking asshole, you had to yell again.
It was Dave's fault.
Yes, it was. A little fucking asshole.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I love you.
Dave's fault, hon. Dave's fault.
Okay, honey. See, I told you. Look what you guys made me do. She stuck her head down in the basement. I knew I was in trouble right there.
Stop calling me honey.
See, now, Dave, that's another thing. You're telling everyone to go fuck off right away when you should be taking the advice. You should be listening to what we're saying. It's a simple thing. You can't have that fuck all of y'all's attitude when you're supposed to be, making sure you even know who your character is.
No, when you picked up a belt.
No shit. God damn it, boy. No.
But now you are champ, you better have some lip on you, because otherwise people are going to be coming to you.
Oh, he's got something on his lip, all right, motherfucker. Jesus.
Ouch.
No.
It's not about saying the word fuck, it's jeez.
And we also realize that you are Canadian, but you don't even need to, type A at the end. Really? Come on.
We just hear it automatically when you speak.
Like, no, but it's been quite the ride. 2018 with 2K17, 2K18, now in 2K19. Damn. It's, Big Dog Wrestling transformed to Renegade, and then, we had a Slaughter Fest, and new characters were brought to life. I dig it. It's a lot of work, but I hope everyone's been enjoying it.
I certainly have. I can't say I complain. I get a fucking different wench every night.
You can't blame the wasteland for that, now can you?
Hell no.
You got a bitch keeping your dick warm and wet? Wow, that's paradise in my eyes.
What was his name?
Hey!
Blaze McCoy Jr. And what?
Oh, fuck that.
I fucked him right in the eyes.
Watch.
Damn, man, I almost burnt my own face.
Don't catch that beard on fire.
Oh, no.
That eye socket of his looked real good.
That's some bitches in a ponytail.
So that's why he wears that eye patch.
Yeah, you fucked him in the eye patch. I was waiting for that one to come out.
Had his eye socket fucked, man.
He's collecting DNA samples for a project.
You know what's going to happen now when he, the eye patch is removed, everyone's going to say, "Oh my God, who impregnated him and gave birth to a new eyeball?"
Yeah. It's gonna. Oh, jeez.
Almar, the Pack could go take the title from Dave. He would not even know he lost it. I know. It's true, man. The guy doesn't know anything. Oh, Pete, I want to be a part of RWO. Fucking Randall Riot. God damn it. Starting to make the Gold Dynasty look good. And no,
I'm gonna say
JD Bagwell has not done that at all.
I'm just gonna say you better hope that Phoenix doesn't get any kind of power at all whatsoever in the Wasteland, because if he does, a lot of these champions are gonna be in trouble. Well, everybody's gonna be in trouble, but the champions too.
I ain't sweating Phoenix, but then I get to ride my desk, so, you know, I know nothing's going to happen. I'm little old me.
Well, the Pack's sitting here with 4 titles to its name at the moment.
Yes,
so
they are, man. You guys got the Queen of the Wasteland title. You've got the Empress of the Wasteland title. You've got the Alpha and Omega. Like, holy shit.
we had a good 3-day event. Can't complain at that one.
Gold Dynasty, they hold the 4 Horsemen title. They have the No Limit title. Oblivion still has the Emperor of the Wasteland title, and Neon City has that. What do you call it?
Emperor. No. Ruler.
Yeah, Ruler. Yes.
Yes, desecrating my title. Shame.
Hey, you know, he's trying to beautify it by putting neon lights all over it, you know. I hope you do too, Wild Mad Outlaw. I really, truly do. Dave's not her man. What is he going on about now?
Dave's not here.
Yeah.
Dave's drunk.
Dave, that's my line, all right? You can't not be here. That's my shtick.
Oh, damn shit. Huh? Well, if you used the word Dave, I think Cheech and Chong used it a little bit before you started.
No. Get that facts out of here, Blaze.
Sorry. Didn't mean to fat bust you.
The very first time he came into the chat and said, "I'm not here," it's like, oh my God, Cheech and Chong,
Like,
really?
Yeah. His name's not Dave, though, so he can get away with it. Chance is not here. No
Like
chance.
legit, I have no idea why I started doing that shit, but once it caught, it's just like, fuck it, this is kind of funny.
Kind of being the important word in that sentence. No, I'm just kidding.
Dave,
It's usually just for the reactions, because like, especially like with you guys, because when you guys are live and I do it, and you just like, or D-Train, he's the best for it. It's just like, well, I was gonna greet you, but you're not here, so whatever.
The fucking shit isn't getting old, so you know it's endearing now. It should have got old a long time ago, right?
Dave,
Man, that and the get them some milk shit, like that was just some shit that I did for quick giggles that took the fuck off.
drink your milk, protect your neck.
Quick giggles.
Dave had a very bad night by the sounds of it. He did not drink all of his Ray. What, you let some of it slide out the corner of your mouth?
Ray who?
Well, I don't know who Ray is, but obviously he didn't swallow everything.
Oh, Ray the referee.
Oh, Ray the referee, yeah. We forget Ray.
Damn it.
Poor Dave. He takes so much shit.
The referee.
You know, I pay that guy nothing at all to do his job, and you go around and you taking his semen, you know, and wasting it like that. Jesus.
Ooh.
Well, hopefully, with all of the shits that Dave takes, that hammer will eventually come out.
Well, you know, at least there's a couple of guys that have joined that club since Dave had the hammer up his ass. You know, Beardy back in the day when he was in RWO, he joined the Sledgehammer Rape Club.
Jeez.
You know, not only Jake Bagwell has been knocked out by kicking the ass anymore. You know, there's been added to it. You know, people have been knocked out by getting kicked in the balls. So
Dude, what the fuck? I still said the referee off.
You know, it's like my dream match now is with Omar Wolf in a knockout match, and I can knock him out by kicking his balls up in his throat.
Fuck's sake. Although I saw Caleb tonight on my show knock out fucking me, Joey Green, and War with a kick to the nuts. So
No, it was a kick to the hamstring.
oh, that was it. A kick to the hamstring. That was it.
I was just about to say that was my favorite knockout so far. That and the fucking one with War and Silver Bullet, the fucking big swing.
I'm waiting
Oh, the
for
big
someone.
swing, yeah.
I'm waiting for someone to put that move in their finishing spot where it's that poke in the eyes and that actually knocks someone out.
Yeah.
You know, that little
That makes someone bleed.
that little
maybe.
poke in the eyeball and they're knocked out. I want to see that happen in 2K19.
It happened in WCW before. Finger poke of doom.
Yeah, but that wasn't in the eyeball, you know.
Yeah, true.
No, but
This one would be more closer to an actual finger poke of doom.
Fred Tumidi says, I will win all the time. It's like, well, probably not going to happen like that. He hasn't seen a lot of my matches, has he?
The knockout to my hamstring is the new finisher, says Caleb.
Hamstring crush, hamstring kick.
It looks like such
kick.
a little punt to the hamstring, you know, and it's like, oh my God, that knocked out that wrestler. Why? You know, why can't it be a shot to that brain pan, you know?
I was waiting for a triple power bomb to knock somebody out.
Or something like that.
Headbutt, triple headbutt.
Yes, triple headbutt should definitely knock someone
That
out.
definitely makes sense.
I could see
I've
someone.
seen a body slam knock someone out. That was a good one.
I could see someone saying, you know what, I'm done after getting kicked in the balls or having a foot inserted in their ass. But, you know, a little punt to the fucking hamstring. Come on.
I've seen someone jump off the top of the ropes and knock someone out from landing on it. It's like, come on. They've done a body splash and it's knocked them out.
Yeah. Have a good night, Dan Carrier.
Later.
But yeah, we probably should.
Adios, young stranger.
We should
Lieutenant Dan.
probably be ending the show. And the wife already told me, I'm waking you up early. Yeah, already I'm being punished already.
Morning head.
Oh, that would
Hey,
always be a
now.
nice thing. Oh, have mercy.
Nah.
No. But I want to thank everybody that has joined us in the chat, everyone that's going to watch the replay. Always a pleasure. Love having fun with my brothers here. It's Yellow Pages, also known as Phoenix Nightwalker, Chance Harper. He's a complete Yellow Pages in the phone book. You can find him over on, what's your channel again?
Anarchy Gaming.
And then we've got my brother.
Sports and madness collide.
Yes. Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Coming back very soon by the sounds of it.
Yes. I would give you guys details, but I feel like being an asshole about it and not telling anybody shit until it happens.
Leave them
So
in
wait,
suspense.
people.
Leave them in suspense. Also, my brother Blaze McCoy. 3 different mothers on our sides. Yes, my mother, his mother, and Mother Nature.
Mother Nature. You got it, brother. Thanks, man. It's always a pleasure. Glad to be here. Good to share some behind-the-scenes chat with some of my digital wrestling brothers. Much appreciated, bro.
You know, always a pleasure, brother. And he runs Blazed Radio here on YouTube. You can find Leaning Towards Death Wrestling on that channel. Always a great show to be a part of. And then you've got my man, my brother from over across the pond, Mr. Omar Wolf, with some UKWF.
Thank you very much, as always. Always good fun to have a laugh and a joke with you all. Talk, shoot the shit.
Now, once again, this is Pillar to Post. You've been listening to myself, Pete Wall, Omar Wolf, Anarchy Gaming, and Blaze McCoy. Have a great night. Always have a better tomorrow. And if you can't get right, well, find a woman quick. She'll help you get to right real quick.
Peace. Pete, get that tampon out of your mouth.
And just to leave this here and now, I have stuck a a maxi pad across the forehead of Blaze McCoy, and yes, it was liberally used, and it's. Oh, geez, man, it's dripping across your nose. I'm out.
I got my tampon.
Oh my God, it smells like Yolanda.
My tampon joke was too soon.